New York City at a breaking point. That's according to many Democrats who are unhappy with the immigration situation that is now bubbling over there. The cup runneth over is what the mayor says. You can see on the streets, we've got a lot of migrants who are outside on the streets in New York. No services, no resources, nowhere to go. All have been incentivized to come into the United States, and in particular, places like New York, where they say they are sanctuary cities and that they are welcome and that they're going to do everything they can to shelter them because it is a legal requirement to do so. But now Democrats say, all right, enough already. This is a breaking point. The whole city is incapable of dealing with this. But it's a very interesting development because Mayor Adams had a different take on this some time ago. He spoke about the asylum seekers that were being bused from Texas into New York.
I don't, weigh into immigration issues, border issues. I have to provide services for families that are here, and that's what we're going to do. And that's what our responsibility as a city. I'm proud that this is a right to shelter state, and we're going to continue to do that. This is horrific when you think about what the governor is doing, the governor of Texas, after a month of traveling across the border, placing on the bus with no direction to come here to New York. And New York is a city that has always represented the democratic values and the values of our city, of showing our compassion. And that's what we're doing today.
Showing our compassion. Now, this was about 11 months ago when he's making these statements. And then suddenly things start to change a little bit. Fast forward several months, and it's less about being ordered to provide shelter, and now it's about our cup runneth over.
Ago that we have reached full capacity. And that full capacity was verbalized, and now New York is just going to be visually actualized. We're going to see how much of our cup has basically runneth over. We have no more room in the city.
Okay, so he posted that one July 20th, 2023. So things are getting a little bit rough out there. Our cup hath runneth over. We have no more room in the city and we need help. Okay. Well, that's kind of the same position that a lot of cities on the border are in, isn't it? A lot of states on the border are kind of, in that position too, which is why they've been claiming that they need federal government help and that they need a border solution, an immigration plan. They need to secure the border so that the cup stops runneth over, that type of stuff. But what's been interesting about that is when the Republicans say it, when the red states say it, these people say that that's racism. That's bigotry. What do you mean? There's not enough room in your city? What kind of a bigoted statement is that? These are migrants, man. These are asylum seekers. You have to just figure it out, I guess. I mean, because that's what they've been telling us in Arizona for my entire life. Doesn't matter what person is in charge, whether it's a Democrat or a Republican, it's all basically the same excuse. But now he's starting to recognize something that we've been very familiar with for decades. And now this is what his city looks like. And I get so sick with these people because they keep telling us that this is compassion. This is helping people live better lives by incentivizing them to leave their homes, leave their families, leave their communities, come to a better place. Things are going to be better. And that the people who are Republicans and GOP candidates are racist bigots. This is helping people, right? This is their sanctuary city dreamland. And this is a result of their policies. And this is in New York, right? There are people who are on the border, cooking away in cars and dying of heat exhaustion, melting to death as they're trying to come over across, again, being incentivized by these Democrats who think that they're very compassionate. And they scream at the rest of us when we say, how about we just have normality in immigration? But even Democrats are upset about it. They're telling Biden, including Democratic leaders, that New York City's at a breaking point. They've got more than 90,000 illegal aliens there. And that's just, a drop in the bucket. The numbers are massive. 90,000 illegal aliens have arrived, according to city leadership, a group of 54 Democratic elected officials now, including state senators, assembly members, sent a letter to President Joe Biden asking him for help. Our city's experiencing an unprecedented migrant influx with a surge of asylum seekers arriving here in numbers we've never seen before in history. We take pride in New York being the beacon of hope for immigrants, but the influx of migrants is so great, the city is running out of resources. You're kidding. New York City is being forced to reduce services to its people. Here's the letter. 54 elected officials from New York sent the following. Hey, dear Joe, we're elected officials. Our city's experiencing an unprecedented influx. Here's what you can do. Declare a federal state of emergency so that we can work with FEMA, get a bunch of money. Expedite work authorization. Get these people job openings so that they can get employment authorization documents. Provide an additional funding. There you go. There's the money bullet point. Create an organized strategy at the border to fairly distribute newcomers across the country. All right, so these whack jobs, they say nothing about actually securing the border or creating new laws to create disincentives to come across. Nothing. They just want people to be integrated more quickly. Surprise here. I'm surprised there's not a bullet point 5, register to vote for the Democratic Party. Is that in there? Maybe it should be. New Yorkers take pride in welcoming immigrants. Our country was founded on immigrants, but not that many immigrants, though. We got too many of them now, is what they're saying. They're 20% of our essential workers. While we welcome immigrants to the city, kind of, the current unstructured state of immigration and response needs to end. Okay, so what do you think is going to work? You're going to get a bunch of money and it's just going to solve the problem? You're going to have magical jobs just to pop up out of nowhere? The declaration of a state of emergency is going to just resolve the situation? They're just kind of delusional. So as per usual, we have a bunch of challenged people who are trying their worst to make a bad situation even worse. You know, they just want more money and more incentives to cause more immigration into their city in a completely unstructured way, rather than actually addressing the problem anywhere at the border. So that's what they're sending over to Joe. They're unhappy about it. Meanwhile, we've got Homeland Security Mayorkas and the rest of them saying that everything is just perfectly fine, testifying in front of Congress, saying Secretary Mayorkas' commitment to visiting the city. We look forward to more conversations. And Adams from New York says New York continues to do more than any other city in the nation. Really? You think so? But we need additional support from the feds. They're meeting with Mayorkas in the coming days. They've got this new flyer posted. Adams' meeting with Mayorkas comes about a week after the mayor announced that New York City will begin distributing flyers at the southern border to start asking illegal aliens to consider another city besides the Big Apple. Don't come. Don't come to our city. We love immigrants, but just don't come. The bright yellow flyers, which are already also written in Spanish, tell illegal aliens, housing in New York City is very expensive. Sorry, you poor immigrants can't afford it here. There is no guarantee we will be able to provide shelter and services to new arrivals. Yeah, we don't want you here, okay? Go somewhere else. Go to Arizona, go to California, go somewhere, where is that, like Orange County-ish? Go to Northern California, go to South Dakota, get out of here. Unbelievable. It says since April, more than 90,000 migrants. There's no guarantee we're going to be able to provide shelter. Housing is very expensive. Cost of food is very expensive. Please go somewhere else. It's very bigoted. It's very bigoted in the Big Apple. I can't believe what a bunch of racists they are there. The Center for Immigration Studies released a report claiming that the Biden administration has released 2 million illegal aliens into the United States. Yeah, it's like what? I think it's like 4 Wyomings. 4 Wyomings have been released into the United States. So everything there is just working appropriately. Go anywhere else except New York. All right, we don't want you there. That's Mayor Adams. That's the great sanctuary city advocates in New York and on the left.